edition of Lab Rats. My name is Andy Walker.
I'm Sean Carruthers.
And today on the show, we get into touch technology, touch it until it submits to our will. Now, it's all about coming up. No, don't touch my television, Sean. See, he wants to poke everything. It's not about poking things. That's our Facebook episode.
Oh, okay. I guess we'll do that
So
later.
the touch screen revolution is upon us. And today we're going to talk a little bit about how you're going to interact with your computer moving forward, and look at some of the gadgets that are out now and that are about to come out, and what it's going to look like moving forward. Yes?
Yes.
Happy?
I'm all for that.
He's for that.
I can't poke a hole through your TV?
No.
I guess we kind of
Poke a
need
hole
that
through
for the
you.
episode. Okay. I'll refrain.
Thank you. Fingers to yourselves. All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk all about touch after this.
If a bunny was the new Camtasia Studio 5, it would be the fastest, it would be the smartest, and you would love it. The new Camtasia Studio 5, screencasting software that's better than a bunny. Download it at www.techsmith.com.
Well, so are you excited about this topic? Yeah, I thought so. As you can see, we decided to come in front of the presenting table today because we have a great big honking machine here from HP.
Yeah, that sort of blocked us out completely.
Kinda, it does. So let's talk about that first. Well, first of all, I suppose
Let's talk about touch technology.
touch technology in general. So, what is it?
Well, it's technology you can interact with by touching it.
Right.
Now, this is not really brand new. There's been a few bits of technology that have allowed touch interaction for a while. If you go into your favorite restaurant and you see the station where they do the orders, chances are they're actually tapping the screen on that. And that's not exactly consumer-friendly technology. That's a specialty item that you have to get that has special overlays, and it costs a lot of money to do that. So for the longest time, this wasn't really feasible, and it was very sort of gross, not fine control. You could like tap that button there. It doesn't give you like the sort of interaction you need to sort of interact with the screen in the way you expect to with a cursor, for example. More recently, though, touch technology has become a little bit more consumer-friendly and useful. And I believe that you talked to the folks at Microsoft about that.
Yeah, if you go back to our, I don't know, it was episode number 4, well, the 4th episode we did at CES, I think it was. I interacted with the nice people at Microsoft Surface, right? It's a touch-focused furniture technology they developed at Microsoft Research. And I said, oh, look, it's your new iPod Touch technology. It's a bit big, won't fit in my pocket, but it's a tabletop, right?
Yeah.
And the idea being that it's like, you know, we work in bars, you can maybe process photographs, move photographs around, do mail, you know, you put your drink on it and it goes, oh, look, there's a drink here, and gives you a recipe, I don't know, whatever it is, right? It's a research project at Microsoft. It really wasn't designed for consumer deployment in a mass market.
No, because I mean, it's like you said, it's a gigantic table with cameras underneath, and it needs this huge box just in order to work at all.
Right.
And we'd actually seen something before Microsoft introduced that at CES, and before that, there was a researcher out of New York State, I believe, named Jeff Hahn.
Yeah, if you actually Google him, there's a lot of session videos about what he did.
So Jeffhan, and he was like basically interacting with this screen in front of him just the way you would in the movie Minority Report, just grabbing things, just zooming, just everything you'd expect out of a surface like that. And it was very, very experimental and very, very expensive at that point. And I think Microsoft's isn't much better at this point.
No.
Now we have something much more affordable in the things like the iPod Touch and other touchscreen devices like the Palm and other things like that. So.
Right. So the reality is that touch technology is coming to all the devices you're going to own over the next 2 to 4 years. I mean, I honestly believe it. We've got a couple of products here we're going to show you today, just at sort of where it's at as far as consumer deployment goes. But let's start with the company that really made it mass market, the Apple.
It was the Apple, yeah, and I know you love Apple so much, but this is one of the areas where they really brought things. Well, you've got one too. They really brought this to the mass market. It's just a touch screen, uses multi-touch and 2 fingers on here. So you actually, oops, I just showed off Momo's cell phone number.
Oops.
So you can feel free to call him and find out when our next shoot is. But yeah, essentially you have this gesture-based control, and you can do multiple things. So if we bring up the Maps functionality here, make sure that you show off your iPod Touch while I get connected to your network here.
Can you see it, Mo? All right, so ultimately, this is the iPod Touch, right? So the iPod Touch is the iPhone without the phone. And you have basically a single button interface. You can touch it to open things like this. You know, see if I can find my music right there. So I'm going to go back up to here, and I can just do that, right? Kind of fun. So there you go.
Yeah, and same sort of thing on this right here. We've got I've got the map functionality up here, and I mean, you can move around the map with your finger, just push it like that. But the thing that really makes this multi-touch technology inside here really worthwhile is the fact that you can actually just zoom in, zoom out, just doing the pinch or the stretch like this. And you can actually turn things sideways in certain circumstances as well. This one you can't, but yeah, it's just essentially more natural interaction with these sorts of things.
Kind of point and tell it what to do as opposed to having to manipulate, you know, using a mouse or some sort of keyboard interaction.
Yep. So
Very
there
good.
we go.
So good on Apple for introducing this at a level that nobody had done before on both the iPod Touch and also the iPhone.
But you notice that both of these screens are very small. So they're, you know, just a few inches across. You don't have this sort of full screen capability that you would have on something like this, which is what you'd really need to make it feasible on a computer.
Right. So two thoughts before we move on. Number one, I think that we're going to see Apple develop this technology and add it to its computers over the next 6 to 12 months. I would not be surprised if come January 2009 we see an iMac, the iMac Touch type technology. It makes a lot of sense, and especially given that HP is getting traction in this market at the moment with a new product we'll show you in a second.
There was some rumors that they would introduce, back in 2008, there were rumors that they would introduce a touch-sensitive notebook, full size, maybe a tablet style. Instead, they went with the MacBook Air instead. But there's still that hope. I mean, they have that technology. If they can just make it cheaper and larger, then definitely the iMac would be a next good place to do it. And it would be natural to have that on the desktop instead.
Absolutely. So in the Windows world, there are two things going on right now. One, HP has a technology called the TouchSmart technology, which we have a unit here. Before we go into that, I want to talk a little bit about where Windows is going as far as touch interface. So after the disaster that is Windows Vista,
wait, what did you just say?
After the disaster, it's been a market failure, and that's for many reasons. But I think Microsoft is now going to accelerate the deployment of Windows 7, which is the successor to Windows Vista. And they say they're going to have something out by the end of 2009. Don't hold your breath, because you're going to die waiting. But they say 18 months. Now what they're probably going to do is reskin, meaning redesign Vista, put a Windows 7 branding on, and add a couple of features. But inside of Windows 7, they claim that they're going to have full-on touch support, which means that all Windows laptops and desktops will have this capability, assuming that you have the hardware to support it.
I touched your thing and now it's shutting down.
You're shutting it down.
I didn't do it. I just touched it in the middle.
Ding dong.
Well,
nice.
Windows Vista.
Let's try that again, shall we? Let's just get it up and going.
What really happened there?
What?
And if we roll back the tape, we can prove that it wasn't me that did that. It was Windows here reacting to you saying that it was a failure.
Had a security alert or something.
It said, oh, I mean, there's a microphone in here, right? So it heard you saying that, reported back to head office, and deactivated your copy of Windows Vista.
Yeah, and through its voice analysis, recognized it was you, and you're around, and just decided to fail automatically.
That's fair.
Okay. All right, well, while we're waiting for it to boot, so let's talk a little bit about the hardware that they're developing here. So as you can see, it's a flat panel computer. So if you look at the side, it's very, very thin, right?
Does it come with the batteries in the book?
It does not come with the batteries in the book. It's a full-on Windows Vista home premium machine, except that it's running actually 64-bit, believe it or not. It's a 64-bit machine.
Impressive.
Which is kind of impressive, right? So 64-bit, meaning that it moves chunks of data across the circuitry in 64-bit chunks instead of 32-bit chunks. But we won't go into that because it's a whole other conversation. What's exciting about the TouchSmart unit here is, first of all, this is a 22-inch monitor. And this runs retail approximately $1,600, so $1,599, $1,600, somewhere in that range, which is, given what it is a multi-core processor with a touch interface, that's actually pretty economical. It's the second generation of the touch-capable computer that HP has developed. And given the price point and the configuration and the fact that it's sort of somewhat kitchen-friendly, it's got this cool little light here for a Surface. I don't know why that would be, but I guess in the kitchen perhaps your lighting won't be ideal for computing, something along those lines.
Maybe it would allow you to see the keyboard in the
Keyboard
dark
a little
as
bit better,
well.
yeah. So that's so it's got a wireless keyboard, as you can see, and it comes with a wireless mouse, which you've lost. That's okay. Here we go. So the wireless mouse as well. Blah blah blah. Hooray hooray! But what the key feature here is that the screen is actually touch sensitive. So in fact,
so we could interact with it like this with our mouse and drag things around and whatnot. But
or I can use my finger to drag it around
there we go.
as well. Let's select it. Same way. So I can use my finger as a mouse. Now,
so not necessarily as sensitive as you'd like, but
in fact, the interesting thing is I don't actually have to touch the surface. There's actually cameras here that actually detect that I'm very close to it, and I got rid of it there. Anyway. But so you don't actually have to touch the surface. The inclination is that you really want to, of course. But the cameras actually detect that your fingers is within proximity of the screen, and will actually start the motion. Go real close. There you go. See? Yeah. Anyway, what's really exciting about this particular technology, though, is the HP interface that they've developed. Because Windows doesn't support touch at the moment, they had to develop their own software.
So as you said, that'll be out in the next version of Windows.
It will theoretically be out.
This is what they said. I mean, they started stripping features out of Vista to meet the ship date for that, so who knows if this will remain in it by the time they finally release Windows 7.
Yeah, maybe, maybe not. We'll see.
Well,
but in the meantime, HP's done a nice job integrating a multiple touch interface type technology. If we start here, let's let it boot up for a second here. Should we go there first? So this is a notepad application. Allows you to create notes, right? Now, keep in mind, of course, this is in your kitchen, right? Potentially, so you could actually create, hi, Mom, I will be late. Right? Touch interface like that. Yep. You can, change the size of.
Change the color.
Change the color.
Oops. There we go.
There you go.
So you could really use this for finger painting.
Yeah. Done. There's also, of course, it's got fully integrated speakers and microphones, so you could actually, record. And go record.
Hi there. Welcome to Lab Rats. I'm Andy Walker.
And I'm Sean Carruthers.
There we go.
I'm going to review recording.
Hi there. Welcome to Lab Rats. I'm Andy Walker.
And I'm Sean Carruthers.
Sounds just like us.
Exactly. There you go. So fun little features like that. Again, keep in mind this is designed for family, right? Family interaction. Just like you have on your iPod Touch or on your iPhone, you have the ability to listen to music. There is a similar functionality here where you can touch, move it across like that. Select.
Geez, that looks kind of familiar.
Funny that, huh? There you go. And let's see if we can go somewhere else. There's there's whole access to family calendars. There's some games down here, things like that. So pictures,
photo.
Let's open up the pictures for a second. So let's interact with down here. Choose a photograph of a butterfly. Right.
Very good.
And then here you can go crop.
Can you do more than one at the same time? No.
No multi-touch. So
no multi-touch. Well, that's
not
unfortunate.
Multi-touch yet, but it's an evolution. So there you go. That's the HP PhotoSmart 22-inch version, a 17-inch version, $1,600, $1,400, somewhere in that range. Available mid-July 2008. So by the time you see this, it's probably going to be out. But not bad, don't you think, for $1,500, $1,600?
That's not bad. It's a nice evolution. It's not as sensitive as I necessarily would have liked, but I mean, you still do have the keyboard and mouse, so you're not stuck with using touch sensitivity for for doing these things if you don't want it. So
there you go, good. So now in the future, as I said, so Windows 7 probably have that functionality built in. I would suspect that in the mobile world, you're going to see a lot of cell phone manufacturers mimicking what Apple's done. Do you see any further refinements in what Apple's going to do in terms of multi-touch and things like that?
Greater sensitivity. I think the biggest refinement that they need to make at this point is just cheaper and bigger. Because right now with the screen the size that it is, it's very unusable for most major consumer applications unless you're in the field. And then you're willing to put up with it. But yeah, it just has to be about this size, and then I think we're good to go.
What about gaming and sort of the Wii experience? The Wii is obviously gesture control. Do you see that sort of a touch gesture control kind of thing happening?
It's a possibility. It would have to be very specific. I think the one worry that I would have, just sort of in much the same way that the Wii posed some problems with gaming, in that the gesture was very aggro in some cases, very aggressive. Very aggressive. Yeah. If you're playing a game and you're like, there might be more damage to your screen than you'd like. So I don't know if it's necessarily a good idea. Very simple gaming.
Very simple gaming.
Very simple gaming.
I think what you're going to see in terms of moving forward is not only going to be touch control and gesture control, you also see grasp control, especially in the mobile devices. Like if I hold a device in this particular way, then it will become something. If I turn it, rotate it, it's going to become something else. So if I hold the device up to my face, it'll go into camera mode. If I put it in my palm and I face the screen towards me, it'll be like a notepad, right? And that's, I think, that sort of whole tactile interaction is going to allow the devices to do all kinds of very cool things from a touch and a physical manipulation kind of perspective.
Yeah, they've already started that in some very specialty mice where you can actually pick it up, rotate it, turn it, grab it, squeeze it, all of that sort of thing.
Right, yeah, there was something, a ring technology we saw at CES this year. Wasn't it? You actually hold it in 3D space, you actually manipulate things. So.
Yeah, that's a little bit different. That uses the same technology that the Wii Mote uses as well. That was from Hillcrest Labs.
Right.
And we had actually seen that 2 years ago initially with at one of the evening events, and they were showing it off more formally this year with more technology that actually is ready to go and integrated into other systems.
Right.
But yeah, the squeeze, move for, I mean, that would be the next, I think, phase with gaming, is actual push and motion sensitivity and height, altitude, pressure, all of that sort of thing. Not necessarily touching the screen. Now, with gaming, I could see gaming, or the touch sensitivity, multi-touch sensitivity would actually be very good for something like World of Warcraft, or anything where you look overhead and need to zoom or move or do multiple things on the screen at the same time. That would be very useful, I think, come to think of it.
Very good. So there you go. So that's the beginning of sort of tactile human interaction, I think, is now. And keep an eye on the marketplace, because I think we're going to see more of this physical interaction with devices moving forward. All right, so we would take a break, and when we come back, maybe some pictures? Speaking of pictures?
I think so.
You having fun there?
No.
No? Okay. All right. All right, well, let's take a break, and when we come back, it's picture time, your favorite. So
Yay.
it's ours too, after this. Well, as promised, we're back, and it's picture time!
Is it?
It is picture time, it's picture time, la 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 la. Yeah, we do, we have pictures. All right, what do we have? Click, 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 come on. Oh, it worked.
We have, first of all, from our viewer, Luis, who's in the Dominican Republic.
Yes.
We actually have a small series of photographs. His whole family, basically, are geeks. This is his son, Diego, who's interacting with his old computer, which he's turned into his son's machine.
Very good.
So, very good. Got to get started young.
Diego from Dominican Republic.
Dominican Republic.
Awesome.
And we have his wife, Migdalia, who's shown here, checking messages and listening to music while on a layover in Egypt.
Family O Geeks. Okay, and?
And we have the man himself, who is working, I believe, at a bank in the Dominican Republic.
Huh.
So there you go.
Awesome. What was his name again?
Luis.
Luis. Thank you, Luis, for sending pictures of your family.
You've got, like, servers and multiple machines back here. It's just...
Looks like he's working on a PowerPoint presentation or something. Click to add title. All right, there you go.
Can you suggest a title for him to add there?
My family are a bunch of geeks. Maybe?
.com.
.com.
/ blog.
Okay.
Last but not least, we have Thomas from southern Germany. And he's not actually in southern Germany here, obviously. He's in Las Vegas at the Paris Hotel.
Paris Hotel, that's right, yeah, exactly.
Actually, yes. I think he's actually in the real Paris here, so.
He is, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. I haven't been there yet, to the Eiffel Tower. Have you?
Well, I've been to the one in Las Vegas.
That doesn't count.
I know.
La Brette en France! Next on La Brette Super.
I think I'll just click this and...
Are we done?
I think we have to be now.
All right. All right, well, thank you for tuning in this week. Don't forget to check out our website at labrats.tv.
Send your photographs, like those,
to
feedback at labrats.tv.
and send really nice email to me at andy@labrats.tv. And to him at
Sean at labrats.tv.
if you want to say nasty things about me, send it to him and vice versa. Well, you get the idea. You're smart people. You've watched Lab
It's
Rats.
true.
We teach you all about this stuff. Okay, and ideas. Ideas. We like ideas for the show too. So if you have an idea for the show, send it. We have episodes every now and then called Mailbag. Where we respond to your email and answer your questions. So if you have a question for our mailbag and you want to get on the show, send it to feedback@labrats.tv, and we'll, if it's a fun question and useful for everybody, we'll answer it on an upcoming episode. All right. Anything else?
No, I'm going to poke a hole through your TV now.
Don't touch
Now that
my
we're done
TV.
the episode.
Fingers.
How come this isn't moving?
Sticky fingers everywhere. All right, well, that's it for us. Thank you for pushing play this week and watching Lab Rats. My name's Andy Walker.
I'm Sean Carruthers.
Get your dirty fingers off my television. See you next time.
Are you ready? Try this at home.
Fingers to yourselves. All right, let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about all about touch after this.
Andy, your fly's down.
It's okay. It's good. Can you see on camera?
Yeah, it's in the shot.
Okay, good. Perfect.
All right.
XYZ, man.
So I didn't interrupt you guys. I thought maybe you wanted.
No, it's going to be commenting, man.
I'll zoom in a bit anyway, so it'll be out of shot. So,
Okay.
but
well,
zip up.
I don't want to mention it?
No, I'd rather not talk about your crotch on this episode.
All right, coming back. 5, 4,